Hello, baseball fans, and welcome to this special playoff broadcast of Lamar Viking Varsity Baseball, brought to you by the Lamar Baseball Booster Club. I'm Bill Frawley, and with me today is Joe Toronto. Joe, how are you doing?
Doing well today, Bill.
Well, it's a great day for baseball, as the cliche goes, but it's perfectly true today. It's a clear sky, temperature about 73 degrees for first pitch coming up here in just a little bit. Almost a completely clear sky, and winds are slight out of the west, and that means we might see a Davis Drive dinger or two, because that would push the ball out over to left field there. We're ready now for the starting lineups with the game. Joe, you can go ahead and do some stats there.
Yeah, Bill. We've got several things that we can talk about. We've got last night we had a pitcher's duel, and like you said, with the wind blowing out, maybe we'll get a little bit more offensive production from the teams. For the Lamar Vikings, we've got Wesley Powell. He's had a couple of hits, and with regard to his season average, he's hitting .338. He's got 22 RBIs, and Eric DeBrill is another one of the offensive stars. He's got 3 home runs, 26 RBIs, and he's hitting .297. Of course, there's Jake Paff. He's hitting .390. He's got 12 RBIs, and one of the other standouts, of course, is Jose Gutierrez. Jose Gutierrez is hitting .326, and of course, Jose is got an OPS of .898, which is outstanding. So we've got some real offensive power on the Vikings squad, and of course on the mound today is going to be the freshman Bradley Missel. And Bradley, being only a freshman, I know that he's touched the radar gun from what we understand at almost 90 miles per hour. So we've got a fantastic lineup for the Lamar Vikings, and hopefully we can get some offensive production from that. As a team, the Vikings have a tremendous ERA. They're only a 234 ERA, so the entire pitching staff projects to be outstanding in holding the opposing team to very low run production. So in the event that Missile gets into any kind of trouble, I think that the bullpen is ready and can hold them down. One of the other people that I wanted to mention, of course, is Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly, the shortstop, he's got an outstanding line for offensively. He's got 12 stolen bases. He's hitting .284. He's got 23 RBIs, which leads the team this year. So we're looking for an outstanding day today from Lamar Vikings, and hopefully they can force a game 3 and take the series. So we don't have much in the way of any kind of statistics for Keller because but we know that last night they had 21. Number 21 Johnston had a single. Brenton had 2 singles, and Ben Johnston had a single, as well as Kyle Rich. starting lineup for the Lamar Vikings will be Cameron Weil will be leading off and playing and playing second base. Jake Path will be hitting second, playing third base. Wesley Powell will be hitting in the third spot and playing center field. In the cleanup spot will be Jose Gutierrez, and he'll be playing first base. Hitting in the fifth position will be Sean Kelly. He'll be the shortstop. Eric DeBrill will be hitting sixth and playing right field. Kyle Lancaster will be hitting seventh and playing left field. Bradley Missel, the pitcher, will be hitting eighth. There will be no DH today. And hitting in the ninth spot will be the catcher, Chance Fuller. So as we...
Yeah, Joe, that's our starting lineup here. They just rearranged two batters today. Wesley Powell has been hitting fourth most of the season and up to and including last night, and they switched him and Jose Gutierrez to have Jose hit cleanup tonight. Maybe it's because of that wind out of the west, and they're hoping we'll get a couple on base and he'll knock one over the left field wall out toward Davis Drive. Jose, a big guy for a junior, and he's already made a verbal commitment with Dallas Baptist University to play there in a couple of years.
Right. Well, Dallas Baptist obviously is one of the premier programs in Division I baseball, and so that's quite a feather in Jose's cap to have that. And when you got Powell and Gutierrez, back to back, you've got two excellent players, and so obviously making that switch. We'll have to see how that works out, but when you've got someone like Weil leading off who can get on and can steal the base, and so that kind of sets the table for both of those guys to drive in some runs.
Leading off for the Indians in the top of the first inning, center fielder number 1, Mike Brenton. Oh man.
It's not back to the scoreboard yet. If you want to hand that scoreboard to me, I'll run that until he gets back.
The Vikings are playing them pretty much straight away.
Missel's first pitch in there for a strike. There's a foul ball that's hit well out of play over the Vikings bullpen. And Joe, one of the things I've kind of learned over the years how important that first pitch strike is. And so Missel already has one against the first batter he's facing. And the count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on. We're in the top of the first inning, just underway.
Yeah, it's so important to get ahead of the batters.
That pitch misses high for ball 1.
You want to kind of set the tone, and looks like Missel is ready to work right away.
Wow, that pitch just misses.
Yeah, that was a nice curveball by Missel.
Now, last night over at Keller, and I don't know if we have the same crew or not, but last night over at Keller, the umpire had a pretty big strike zone. He wanted those batters swinging the bat. There's a ground ball that's going to go foul just over toward the visitors' bullpen. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. The strike 3 is dropped, but Fuller picks it up and throws him out at first base for the strikeout.
Well, that's a good start by Missel. I mean, he obviously had the batter off balance right from the beginning. Getting him in an 0-2 hole and then being able to kind of work his, work the pitches and work the location to wherever he wanted.
Batting next for Keller, second baseman number 12, Ben Johnson.
So Ben Johnson will come up to the plate, right-handed batter, playing second base. That pitch is well outside for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch on its way in there for strike 1.
Missile not taking any time on the mound, really getting set up quickly and getting his rhythm going.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Wow, just misses high for ball 2.
Bill, that's that same curveball. That one was maybe a smidge higher than the other one that the umpire didn't call a strike, but those are pretty close pitches.
Yeah, he's not missing by much at all, so he's going to have to learn to find that exact spot with that a little bit lower than normal high end of the strike zone. Yeah, here comes a 2-1 pitch. Just misses low, it looks like, for ball 3. 3-1 now.
And, you know, obviously you're going to have to adjust to the strike zone that particular umpire is calling. And so as the game goes on, Missile will make that adjustment.
And there's ball 4, and he draws the walk. Right fielder number 2, Parks Bauk. So now Parks Bauk will come up to the plate with 1 on and 1 out. No score. We're only at the 3rd batter in the lineup here. Top of the 1st inning. Beautiful day. 73 degrees. Slight breeze out of the west. Like 1.
And that time, Missile got the curveball in a nice position, got it over the plate.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on. That's going to go foul out of play just behind the visitor's bullpen. And the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes.
There really doesn't appear to be any interest by the runner of trying to steal.
Well, he might have remembered last night that that pitch misses outside for ball 1. Chance Fuller, our catcher, gunned down 2 runners at second base last night.
You know, Chance Fuller being the quarterback on the football team, he's got a pretty good arm.
And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
That was a nice off-speed pitch by Missile to get him on that pitch.
The next batter, first baseman number 14, Kyle Rich. Well, so now Missile has 2 strikeouts recorded here in the top of the 1st inning.
Kyle Rich had one of the few hits last night in that pitcher's duel.
And the first pitch to Rich misses for ball 1. Joe. It needs to go on. And there's a fly ball hit to center field and caught by. Oh, it wasn't.
No, it dropped in front of the center
dropped
field.
in. I looked down and was distracted. Yeah. So that's actually going to be a base hit for Rich to center field. Batting next, designated hitter number 16, Hunter Marshall. So Hunter Marshall, the designated hitter, batting 5th in the order, comes up to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs. First pitch misses for ball 1. I want to thank David Frawley for coming up here, running the scoreboard for us today. Got Cade Carlson up here also helping out with some stuff, spotting for us. And that pitch misses, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Got some shout-outs to give. Ann Toronto, Joe's wife, is watching from Plano. Thank you for that. And that pitch misses low for ball 3, and quickly now, Missile behind in the count, 3-0 with 2 on and 2 outs. And Joe, we got to find a way to get an out right here. There's a lot of ways it can happen.
It's you get a runner on, and then you get a couple of quick outs, and then all of a sudden a base hit sort of rattles the pitcher a little bit. But he can come back from this. There's really just make a good pitch and just concentrate on the batter, and you'll be fine.
And there's a walk on the 3-1 pitch. Now the bases are loaded.
So we're going to have a visit to the mound right here, I think, just to settle him down.
Yeah, Coach Kano's going to come out and talk. He's bringing the infield in. Probably a combination of settling him down and just, hey, guys, we got 2 outs. Let's make sure everyone knows what to do, where we want to go with the ball, get the closest out. It doesn't matter which bag. There's a force everywhere. Get the close, easy one, and let's get out of this inning. And with that here, the conference at the mound is over. Batting next is the catcher, number 9, Joe Betancourt. So Joe Betancourt will come up to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He's the number 6 batter. Ground ball, pop fly, deep fly, anything would be great. And there's a first pitch strike. And missile ahead.
Hey, Dave, it's only 1 hit.
And there's a line drive for out number 3 to Jake Path at third base. It's 0-0. We'll be back. Leading off in the bottom of the first inning for the Vikings, it's second baseman number 11, Cameron Weil.
So, Bill, we've got a lefty pitching for Keller.
Two games in a row. We saw a lefty on the mound for them last night also. First pitch to Weil, ground ball to the shortstop. He picks it up, makes the throw, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Looking at his windup pitches, this left-handed pitcher for Keller looks like he comes right over the top. Almost a 12-6 delivery. According to one of our spotters, Mel Skaggs, there was a 23-pitch first inning for Bradley Missel.
That's a few more than he's going to want to do per inning. First pitch to Path is enough for strike 1. There's a swing and a miss, and now the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We're going to need to make this pitcher work some. That was only the 3rd pitch of the inning.
Yeah, definitely. You want to get that pitch count up if you can. Be patient if you can, but if they're over the plate, you've got to take those cuts.
Catcher
setting up inside.
Yeah. And that's outside for ball one. Yeah, he was set up over in Parker County, I think, on that one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Home plate says no. And doesn't look like they're going to appeal to first, or if they did, he said no go either. So the count evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it looked like he held up on that one.
Yeah. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Well, the pitcher was hanging out on the outside part of the plate during that entire at bat.
Center fielder, number 1, Wesley Powell. So Wesley Powell goes kind of retro with his walk-up song there, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. First pitch to Powell, he shows bunt, it's outside for ball 1. That pitch is outside for ball 2, so now 2 balls and no strikes. Susan Skaggs, my sister, watching, listening in from her home up in Bartonville. Her husband Mel is up here actually in the booth with us today. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Powell.
The Keller pitcher has really
That pitch will miss low for ball 3. Now 3 balls and 1 strike.
he has really been pitching with a great rhythm here. He has gotten everything really to the outside part of the plate for the most part, keeping it away from the hitters.
That pitch misses outside, and there's a walk for Powell.
So, Bill, we'll get a chance to see whether or not the switch in the lineup works here, putting Gutierrez in the cleanup spot.
Number 24, first baseman Jose Gutierrez. So Gutierrez comes up to the plate in the cleanup spot today with Powell on first. 2 outs. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Jose has hit some home runs in some of the home run derbies this year, but yet to hit one over the fence in a game for us this season. That goes foul back into the net in front of the home stands. And the count evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wesley Powell staying pretty tight at first base. He's got some speed, but he's got that left-handed pitcher, so it's going to be hard to get a good jump. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, he had him totally fooled on that off-speed pitch. Yeah, it's going to be tough with the left-handed. He's got 9 stolen bases on the year, but it's hard to read the move. And
now they
picked him off.
Yep. Oh, he missed the tag. He's safe. Wow. He should have been out by easily.
You know, it takes a little while to read those moves. I mean, you have to see a couple of throws over, but he had him dead to rights on that one, and just
he got down under that throw.
Just missed the tag.
Yeah. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Jose, and that's called strike 3. And it's 0-0. We'll be back for the second inning. Leading off in the top of the second inning, third baseman number 19, Reed Rice. So Reed Rice comes up to the plate to lead off the second. First pitch from Missile is in there for strike one.
Well, after a little bit of a shaky first inning for Missile, he got out of the jam, and now let's see if he can settle down.
Wow, that pitch nicely placed in the lower right-hand corner of the strike zone, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. That pitch will just miss outside for ball 1. So Missile, like you were saying before, Joe, trying to work that out. Well, the other pitcher was working that outside edge. Missile's having some luck out there, and he's trying to find that boundary. Oh, that was a wicked pitch and almost found its way in, but just a little bit high for ball 2. The count evens up now at 2-2.
The umpire's not giving him that high strike right now.
No, in fact, I'd say he has an abbreviated strike zone. Ground ball to the shortstop, Sean Kelly. Picks it up and makes the throw to Gutierrez at first in time for out number 1. On the 6-3 to retire number 19.
Well done.
Batting next, left fielder number 21, Will Johnston. So Will Johnston comes up to the plate, a left-handed batter, playing left field. Nobody on, 1 out. Oh, a pitch is on the inside corner for strike 1.
Well, it's the way to get ahead of the batters. You just got to keep ahead.
That pitch will drop low for ball 1, evens up the count at 1-1. If you're listening to us and want to shout out, you can send us a text message at 817-729-8196. We'd love to hear from you, 817-729-8196. That pitch inside, and that count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. We know a lot of Wesley Powell's relatives are listening around the country. We'll get to y'all here in a few minutes. There's a ground ball that's going to go to the second baseman and just out of his reach for a base hit. And that'll put Johnston on at first. Batting next is shortstop number 8, Pryor Thomas. So now the number 9 hitter in the order comes up to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. We're in the top of the second inning. There's no score between the Keller Indians and the Lamar Vikings. First pitch is going to go outside for ball 1. Not a big lead at first base, couple of steps. And Missile turns and throws almost on cue. The throws almost a little bit high, but Gutierrez grabs it.
Yeah, Gutierrez made a nice play to keep that ball from sailing over his head and putting the runner in scoring position. Showing the bunt.
And the bunt attempt is popped up over toward the Viking on-deck circle. Goes harmlessly foul, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, given the way that the game went yesterday and the first inning went today, runs may be at a premium. So we're seeing that maybe the coaches are looking to see whether or not they can get something on the board.
Yeah, they're probably not going to want to be too risky early in the game and waste a valuable base runner, especially knowing that Fuller gunned down to at second base last night from catcher. There goes the runner. There's the throw from Fuller, he's got him. He's out.
That was a beautiful throw by Chance Fuller. It was right on line with a lot of pace on it. If you're the batter, you've got to get the bunt down. If that ball is anywhere close, you've got to be able to get the bat on the ball and protect your runner like that.
Yeah. And, that was just almost on cue because we were talking about Fuller gunning some down last night, and boom, there he goes again.
Yeah.
And there's a swing and a miss. It's a foul, but it goes into the glove for strike 3. So it turns out to be 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back.
Leading off in the bottom of the second inning for the Vikings, it's your shortstop, number 9, Sean Kelly.
Well, Joe Sean Kelly's going to lead off for us here in the bottom of the second inning. He has a home run here at the Lamar Viking Diamond earlier this season.
Well, that sure would help, though.
It would.
Because, like we said, we think that runs
Are going to be difficult to come by this afternoon with these pitchers going the way that they're going. So, I mean, it's early, but if all we really need is some base runners, and
the first pitch to Kelly missed for ball one. He swung at that one, evens up the count at 1-1 strike.
And if Kelly can get on anyway, and we can get the runners moved over into scoring position, I think that's going to be the key to giving us some opportunities to score.
That pitch went low for ball two. 2-1 strike. We're in the bottom of the second inning. No score yet. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's going to go foul out of play behind the visitor stands.
Because up and down the lineup, I think we've got players that can put the ball in play and
here comes the 2-2 pitch, and there's called strike 3.
yeah, it seems from our vantage point, which we don't have the greatest, but from our vantage point, it looks like this umpire has got a very low strike zone. He does not like to call the high strike. He has got it framed up so that the low strike is going to be called all afternoon.
Yeah, they're going to have to be mindful of that. Catcher set up outside. The pitch is outside. It bounces off his glove. 1 ball and no strikes. So their pitcher, Thomas, had 14 pitches in the first inning. Missile had 23 for us and 9 in the second. There's a swing and a miss. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I want to give a shout out to my nephew Alan Skaggs. He's listening and watching in from the Orlando, Florida area. There's a foul tip that goes back to the wall.
Well, Eric DeBrill's got 3 homers on the season, Bill, so he's...
including a grand slam, I think it was over at Pascal.
So he's, well, obviously we've got the wind blowing out towards the left, but he's got some pop, and he's got 26 RBIs as well.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That's high for ball 2. It evens up at 2-2.
Tough lefty-on-lefty matchup, but...
And there's called strike 3.
Number 4, left fielder Kyle Lancaster.
Well, last night's pitcher, tonight's left fielder, or today's left fielder's coming up to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the second. And he looks at a first pitch strike. That pitch comes off of his bat. I don't know what exactly was going on there. It looked like he was either kind of, I don't think he was squaring off to bunt, but somehow he's in an awkward spot. The ball comes off the bat, and it's now no balls and 2 strikes.
It looked like a check swing by him.
There's a swing and a miss, but it's dropped.
Yeah.
The catcher going to pick up the ball. He makes a throw and just beats him by a step. So Thomas, for the Indians, strikes out the side. It's still 0-0. We'll be back.
Leading off in the top of the third inning. Number 1, Mike Brenton.
So we're back to the top of the order, Bill.
Yes, indeed. Still with a 0-0 score. Vikings got to win this one to keep the playoff thing going this round.
Britton had 2 hits last night in the game.
First pitch in there for strike 1. So Missile at 32 pitches before that one. Their pitcher has 27, so pretty close in the number of pitches so far. That pitch is going to hit the dirt, bounce harmlessly back towards the wall, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
This game is moving on at a pretty quick pace. Pitches have...
That pitch is inside for ball 2.
Yeah, the pitchers have not dilly-dallied along. They've gotten ready, and
maybe they're trying to beat that hour and 30-minute or so game last night.
moved the pace along quite briskly.
That pitch missed for ball 3. Three balls and 1 strike. There's the outside corner to bring it full.
Yeah. One of the cardinal rules is you don't want to walk the leadoff batter.
Definitely,
So,
especially when he's the leadoff for the whole batting order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ground ball that's going to go foul towards the visitors' bullpen. Count stays at 3-2. Want to thank Lindsay Antkowiak for coming up to run the scoreboard for us. Got a variety of help up here. Yadi Pagan is up here helping with some of the video up in the Crow's Nest. David Frawley and Cade Carlson up there also. Here's the payoff pitch. It's a high fly ball to center field.
Can of corn.
Can of corn is caught by Wesley Powell for out number 1. The next batter is number 12, Ben Johnson.
That was nice for Missile to come back from that 3-1 count to record that out.
Yeah, you know, we often talk about, the batters battling at the plate. Well, that was a time where the pitcher won the battle. And the first pitch to Johnson misses for ball 1. Couldn't tell if the umpire was going to pop up and call that a strike.
He just will not call that high strike.
That's in there, almost exactly down the middle of the strike zone. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's another one on the inside edge for strike 2. Now Missile ahead in the count 1-2. Looks like Carol Richards, another one of my sisters, is listening in from the Austin area.
Just exactly how much family do you have, Bill?
I'm not sure. There's a bouncing ball to the third baseman path. Picks it up, throws him plenty of time. Gutierrez actually tags him out.
Right, the throw pulled him off. Gutierrez off the bag, and he made a nice play. Not trying to get back to the bag, but just standing there and tagging him.
And Gutierrez, not a small guy. You don't want to try to challenge him for that spot.
I know I don't.
The next batter is number 2, Parks Falk. Speaking of Gutierrez, his dad, Jerry, is up here fixing one of the flags in the stands. And the first pitch to Bouts is a ground ball base hit. That's going to be at least a double back to the wall along the left field line. Lancaster does get it in pretty quickly and does hold him to a double for Parks Balk.
Well, this is where Missile's got to bear down because you've got the cleanup hitter up and a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. So he's got to focus on him and not worry about that runner.
So Kyle Rich comes up to the plate with 2 outs and 1 on at second. Rich had a single back in the first inning, but was stranded with the bases loaded. Pitch well outside. Fuller does a good job to reach out and snag that.
Remember back in the first inning with 2 outs, that's when Missile had a little bit of lapse in concentration and let things kind of get to him. But right now, he's just got to worry about the batter.
Line drive straight to the glove of Jake Paff at third. He didn't even have to take a step to retire the side. Still 0-0. We'll be back to the bottom of the second. Leading off in the bottom of the third inning, number 16, Bradley Missile.
That was fortunate that line drive was hit right at the third baseman.
Yeah. First pitch to Missile catches the lower right-hand corner of the strike zone for strike one.
That's what baseball's all about. A little bit of luck can go a long way.
There's a swing and a miss, and the count now goes to 0-2.
There was also a nice play by Jake Paff.
That pitch is going to be high for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Bradley Missile, the freshman pitcher. Here's the pitch. It's swung on. That's going to be hit foul out of play. So he'll be staying alive at the plate.
They're shading him, the center fielder and the right fielder, shading him way over to right field.
And there's a pitch on the upper right-hand corner for strike 3. The catcher, number 13, Chance Fuller.
I've got a feeling that Fuller's going to do something here.
Well, there's a bouncing ball to the first baseman. He picks it up, makes a little underhanded toss back to the pitcher just in time, so that'll go down as a 3-1 to get number 13. And we're back to the start of the line, top of the order.
Well, he did something, but it was not exactly what I had in mind.
Number 11, second baseman Cameron Weil. Cameron Weil shows bunt. Home plate umpire didn't call a strike. He appeals over to the umpire down the third base line. We do have 4 umpires in these playoff games. He says no go, so it's going to be oh, he did call it a strike, did he? Oh, okay. I thought he called no swing. There's kind of an excuse me swing, and that's going to put the, hey, welcoming Coach DeLay up to the booth. How you doing, Coach? And he says he's doing well. Coach DeLay, the head football coach here at Lamar. Always coming out to support all the different athletic events. There's a ground ball to the first baseman. Stays fair. He'll pick it up and tag the base unassisted for the G3, and that's the end of the third inning. We'll be back. Well, we're about ready to get started here in the top of the fourth, and as Joe and I were just talking here in the middle of the inning, there's really not much exciting going on. It's a real pitcher's duel.
Leading off in the top of the fourth inning, designated hitter number 16, Hunter Marshall.
Yeah, but you get the feeling the team that puts the first run on the board is going to win the game.
They very well might. Runs are definitely at a premium in this whole series so far. 2-0 last night in favor of Keller. There's a pop-up, and Chance Fuller's going to turn around and make the basket catch for one pitch, one out.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Chance Fuller. It's really tough for a catcher to locate that ball coming off the bat, and it's kind of spinning away from you like that. But he made a nice play. Particularly with that long hair flowing like that.
The next batter is number 9, Joe Betancourt. Yeah, I don't know when the last time was he got his haircut. It's beautiful, golden locks. I'd love to have that.
I would give anything for that.
First pitch somehow misses.
I have no idea how that missed, but
I wonder if the umpire blinked, and I'm not saying anything derogatory. I just don't know if he missed it, because that's there's a swing, and it's a ground bouncer over towards the Lamar dugout. Evens up the count at 1-1 Yeah, that was an interesting call.
he's been consistent, though.
Yes. And the 1-1 pitch hits him on the thigh, it looks like, so that'll put on a runner. Betancourt will be the runner at first. Courtesy runner at first base, number 7, Cam Waxman. The batter is number 19, Reed Rice.
I think we can expect a bunt here, Bill.
So Betancourt, the catcher, got hit by the pitch. Being the catcher, he gets a courtesy runner. That's number 7, Cam Waxman. Yeah, I think a bunt might be in order here with only one out and one on. Throw back over to first, not in time. Waxman dives back safely. Missile doing a pretty good job of watching the runners at first, trying to keep them fairly close. And another throw back over. Safely back again. No pitch yet to the batter. There's a ground ball to Path. He throws to second for an out, and the throw to first not in time.
They got the lead runner, and that was a very nice play by
Jake Path.
Path, yes.
That'll go down as a 5-4 And then Rice reaches on a fielder's choice.
Because you had the speedy courtesy runner on, and it was actually a fairly close play at second, but there was no way they were going to get the runner at first.
Johnston.
So Will Johnston with a tee comes up to the plate. He grounded, or he had a single back in the second, but was thrown out trying to steal second in the second. And that left him no base runners. He did hit a single. There's a fly ball into right field. DeBrill tracks it down for out number 3. Still 0-0 going into the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back. Leading off for the Vikings in the bottom of the 4th inning, Jake Path.
Well, the Keller pitcher, Tyler Thomas, takes a no-hitter into the 4th inning.
Yeah, let's jinx that right now. And he has, I've got 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings.
6.
And there's a first pitch strike to Jake Path.
He's been living on the outside half of the plate. And so, you know, what you'd hope is maybe the Viking batters would be kind of sitting on that pitch. He went inside on that one, but maybe trying to go to the opposite side, opposite field with some of these pitches.
The 0-2 pitch coming to Path. Oh, outside. Path reached out for it. Unfortunately, strike 3.
Number 1, Wesley Powell.
I mean, this is the heart of the lineup for the Vikings, and I think this is where this is kind of an inning where you hope to do some damage.
Now the first pitch misses low for ball 1. Yeah, we've got to find a way to do some damage here. Foul ball back to the net. One's all across the top of the board. Number 1 at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on. Bottom of the 4th inning. It's still 0-0. Another pitcher's duel, kind of like last night. And that pitch misses for ball 2. And the count now goes to 3-1, so let's see if Powell can find his way on base.
Right. Well, Powell's got him in a good position here, and if he's going to have to make a really good pitch that Powell can either hit or...
Oh, there's strike 2. The count goes full. Now, Powell is our only base runner in the game. He got a walk back in the first inning, but was left stranded. So the 3-2 pitch coming. Fly foul ball that's going to go out of play into the bullpen. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that's going to go foul.
Well, he's making him work, and he's doing a good job staying alive here.
I think we can call this a quality at bat. He's at least 6 pitches now into this pitcher at this at bat. There's a line drive that's going to go out into right center for a base hit.
And so he didn't try to pull that ball. He took it and took it to right field. It was a nice at bat by Wesley Powell.
Jose Gutierrez.
And if I'm not mistaken, Bill, I think Gutierrez took a called third strike on it at his first at bat. So I think he's got to be looking to swing the bat if he can at anything that is in close to his wheelhouse.
You're correct. It was a called strike 3 that ended the first inning with Wesley Powell on first.
Yeah.
Actually, Wesley Powell was on second because he stole. He almost got picked off, if you remember.
Right.
He got in under the high throw. No balls and 1 strike to Jose. There's a throw over to first. It gets away from the first baseman. Speedy Powell is going to be in second base, standing up.
So this is the opportunity that the Vikings have been looking for. You've got a runner in scoring position. You've got your cleanup hitter up.
And only 1 out. Here's the pitch, swung and missed. And the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes with Wesley Powell at second base. Gutierrez the batter.
You had him fooled on the off-speed pitch.
No one really trying to hold Powell close. The shortstop playing around behind him a little bit. About a 4-step lead, maybe 5. Here's the pitch. Oh, line drive just past the pitcher out to center field. Powell comes around third. He's coming. He's going to be safe.
Yeah, nice play. Nice base running. When that ball was first hit, Bill, I didn't think there was any way that he was going to score because it wasn't that deep into the outfield. But that was good speed by Wesley Powell rounding the bases and a nice way to start the scoring.
Number 9, Sean Kelly.
Well, perhaps that change in the lineup has paid off with switching Wesley Powell and Jose Gutierrez from in their spots.
Very well might have just done.
Perhaps.
And there's a base hit from Sean Kelly out to left field, and that's going to have runners at first and second with only 1 out. Bringing up Eric DeBrill.
I think we can safely say that our jinx worked.
Yeah, Joe, you timed that jinx just perfectly because now it's our hit parade. We're going to update our scoreboard here in a second with 2 hits. So Eric DeBrill comes up to the plate now. The Vikings with a 1-0 lead. There's only 1 out. Wrong, that was on the visitor. Okay. The first pitch to DeBrill. He shows bunt. It goes just off the third base line. And the count will be no balls and 1 strike, and that'll bring the runners back.
So Thomas up to 50 pitches now.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 on. DeBrill holds the bat, showing bunt, pulls it back. Outside and high, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Vikings have something going here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, let's see how Thomas handles a little adversity because he's had none through the first 3 innings.
Yeah, he only had 1 base runner, and that was back in the first, and now there's been 3. There's a swing and a miss. That'll take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. (1-0) Viking lead, bottom of the 4th inning. 2 on, 1 out. Eric DeBrill our left-handed right fielder up at the plate. Opportunity to do something here. He hits that one foul, stays alive. And now it looks like Kino's going to put a runner out on the plate. It's going to be Kyle Foster coming in to run for Gutierrez. Courtesy runner at second base, number 2, Kyle Foster. One ball, 2 strikes to Eric DeBrill.
Well, that's an excellent move, Bill. You know how important that run, any run is, and certainly that putting a
Timeout is called.
Putting a fast runner out at second base because Gutierrez just doesn't have that speed.
Yeah.
You know, you just got a base hit is.
Kyle Foster's a junior. He's got some good speed, like you're saying. He's got about a 4-step, maybe 5-step lead at second base, and one really holding him tight. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the first baseman. He'll throw over the second. Pulls him off the bag. It goes out into center field. Kyle Foster's going to score.
And there you go. That move just paid off. As Kyle Foster comes all the way around from second to score on that error.
Number 2, Kyle Foster. The next batter is number 4, Kyle Lancaster.
So 2 coaching moves have paid off, I think, switching the lineup and putting the courtesy runner in just before that play.
That first pitch is fouled harmlessly out of play. The count, no balls and 1 strike. So we've got 2 runs in this inning, Wesley Powell and Kyle Foster. We've had 3 hits. One, Eric DeBrill reached on the fielder's choice / error. There's a little swing. It's going to bounce to the pitcher. He looks at third, but goes to first. And that'll go down as a 1-3 to get number 4 out. But the runners advance to second and third with Bradley Missile coming to the plate.
Number 16, Bradley Missile.
Well, it'd be good for Missile to unload some TNT right now.
Right. Base hit will score 2 runners, so.
And we've got those runners at second and third, yep. 2 outs. With some real energy sparked here in the Vikings now. That pitch is low and inside, and the catcher did a good job to make sure that didn't go back to the wall. Because a wild pitch or a pass ball here is probably going to score Sean Kelly, the junior shortstop. He's got some good speed. And the count now, 1 ball and no strikes for Bradley Missile. See if he can help himself out. He's our pitcher today.
Yeah, Sean Kelly had 12 stolen bases on.
There's a loop to right center. Yes, that's going to be a base hit. Scores Kelly. Here comes Eric DeBrill. He'll be uncontested at the plate. It's 4-0 Vikings on the base hit.
And Missile helps his own cause by with a little Texas leaguer into right field.
Scores Sean Kelly and Eric DeBrill. The courtesy runner first base will be number 15, Justin Escar. Now batting number 13, Chance Fuller.
You know, for someone that looked pretty much invincible for the first 3 innings, they've really gotten to Thomas in the 4th inning. So, you know, if I were the Keller coach, I'd just go out there to talk to him and settle him down a little bit right now.
Yeah, why not take the opportunity?
I mean, I know there's 2 outs, but
first pitch is going to miss high for ball 1.
he certainly looks rattled.
Yeah, he's out of his comfort zone here, especially like he said, only having 1 base runner through the first 3 innings. And that was a walk. But the no-hitter been busted wide open here with 4 singles in the bottom of the 4th inning and 4 runs scored. Runner at first. Pitch just outside. It goes to 2 balls and no strikes for Chance Fuller. Our quarterback back last fall for the varsity football team. Fuller is a senior. He's going to go play football at Hays State University in Kansas. And that pitch just high. And now it goes to 3 balls and no strikes.
He's already up to 26 pitches in the inning.
Wow. This is a real turnaround. Here's the pitch. And down the pike, like you might expect, for strike 1 on the 3-0 count. So now it's 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and Bradley Missile on at first. Let's see how he does with this adversity. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's a bouncing ball that's going to go to the shortstop. He reaches around, and he doesn't get the throw in time, and that's an infield hit. That's just deeply hit. No error there. That's a single by Chance Fuller. And the rally continues.
Nice hustle by Chance Fuller down the line on that one.
Number 11, Cameron Weil.
Got a courtesy
The
run.
runner at first base for the Vikings, number 6, Evan Zell.
First pitch to Cameron Weil, who is our leadoff batter overall. It's a strike, so no balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, but 2 on. As the Vikings lead here, 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th. There's a bouncing ball that's going to go foul off the first baseline, picked up by Coach Evans over at first base.
You know, obviously we've got 2 outs, but you'd sure like to keep the rally going if you can. It's an 0-2 count, so Cameron Wild's going to have to battle.
And he checks his swing just in time. The third base umpire says no go. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two outs, 2 on. Vikings lead 4-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a ground ball to the third baseman. Over his glove. That's going to be an error. He should have had that. Here's a throw to the plate, and it's offline.
It's by the pitcher. It's by the catcher. Excuse me. It's backed up by the pitcher.
So Weil reaches on the air, and that's going to score Esgar. Scoring is Justin Esgar. Look at that Esgar go across home plate.
I will not comment on that.
His family gets a kick out of it. I think Justin even likes it. He grew up down the street from us. One of his parents lives on our street, and I've had fun with him over the years. So now the score is 5-0 in favor of the Vikings.
We've got a meeting on the mound. Well, obviously there's been a number of hits here during this inning, but there's been some shoddy defense too. A couple of times they could have gotten out of the inning. That play at second base.
Time for someone to put his foot down, and that foot is me.
Well, the umpire comes out to say, "Hey, it's time to play ball, guys," but they take their time even with him. But here they break apart the mound visit. And so now we're going to have Jake Path up.
Yeah, it looked like they were having Sunday brunch out there.
Number 8, Jake Path.
So now Jake Path comes up to the plate. He actually, I think, led off this inning for us.
He did.
Struck out swinging, so his second time up to the plate this inning. Struck out swinging back in the first, so he's due for a hit. And there's a screamer over the visitors' bullpen.
If Jake Path can reach, that brings up, Wesley Powell, who started the whole thing off with the single.
Yep. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Jake Path, our third baseman today. Senior. That pitch just misses, much to the dismay of the Keller Indian crowd.
Yeah, but, you know, as we've said, he's been calling that all day long. He just will not call that high strike.
So the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a high fly ball that's going to go over the first baseman's head. It might be trouble. He's having to turn around on it, but he catches it just in foul territory along the foul line. But not before the Vikings take a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back. Leading off in the top of the 5th inning for the Indians, number 8, Pryor Thomas. So Pryor Thomas, he's the shortstop. I don't know if he's any relation to the pitcher Tyler Thomas. He's the number 9 hitter, leads off. He looks at the first pitch for strike 1. Joe Mel Skaggs up here helping us with some spotting and stats, told us 36 pitches by Tyler Thomas in that inning.
And then he hit the snag, and 36 pitches is a tremendous total for one inning. So we'll have to see how that affects him if they keep him in.
That pitch is high, and that brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, and we do have the UIL pitch count rules for games now this year. I don't think he's going to be getting close to that necessarily, because you can go up to around 100, I think. And I've got roughly, there's a foul ball that goes out of play. I've got around 73 pitches.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bill, this is a key inning for the Vikings because you know it's a shutdown inning. I mean, you've got to keep them from scoring anything at this point. You don't want to take the lead and then give anything back at this point.
I looked down. Was that a call strike or did he swing?
He swung.
Number 1, Mike Brinton.
I had to ask because it matters what sound clip I play, if it was a swinging or a called strike 3. Check swinging.
Unsuccessful check, exactly.
There's a ground ball to the second baseman, Cameron Weil. He picks it up, makes the throw in time for out number 2. That'll go down as a 4-3 to get number 1.
So if Bradley Missler can get through this batter and shut him down, that is a huge, that keeps the momentum going for the Vikings.
And definitely so, and we just got out their lead hitter on one pitch right there with the ground ball to Cameron Weil. Threw him out at first base. And that was a hard hit ball, and Weil did a good job of, kind of cupping that ball with his hand, his glove, and his body, making sure it didn't get past him.
It sort of handcuffed him out there, and he did a nice job of staying with it and making a solid throw to first.
First pitch to Johnson missed for ball 1. There's a fly ball that's going to go into the bullpen for strike 1. Now the count 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 2 outs. We are in the top of the 5th inning. The Vikings lead 5-0, getting all 5 of those runs on 5 hits and 2 errors in the bottom of the 4th. Well, an exciting game here.
There's a pitch on the strike zone on the inside edge, and that's strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fuller had him set up really well. I want to give some more shout-outs here. Mr. and Mrs. Powell and Ann are listening in Washington, D.C. Linda Smith in San Antonio. That pitch is outside. That's going to be ball 2. And Bill Rice is listening, another member of the Powell family in Indianapolis. I believe we have a message that Bridget is listening in Cleveland, Ohio, a Cavaliers fan, enjoying some Vikings baseball. So lots of people listening in from all over the country, and we appreciate it. There's a pitch on the outside corner. No way he's going to get that. 3 up, 3 down, 5-0. We'll be back to the bottom of the 5th. Leading off in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Vikings, number 1, Wesley Powell. So Joe, our previous number 1 batter for a couple of years overall, comes up to lead off here in the bottom of the 5th. He's batted cleanup most of this season, but batting 3rd today. And as you said earlier, in the back in the 4th, that paid off.
He was the spark plug last inning, so we'll see if he can do it again.
Fouls the first pitch off the catcher's mask, and the count goes no balls and 1 strike.
The wind kind of feels like it's changed and it's sort of blowing in right now.
It is. You can feel the breeze coming straight into the broadcast booth here, so a little bit more out of the south instead of the west. Nothing strong, with just a nice cool breeze. That pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rolls back to the fence. To the wall. There's a called strike, and now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wesley Powell. And you know, Joe Powell's the kind of guy, he's not going to get rattled being down the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. He'll battle. He's had some quality at bats, including back in the 1st inning when he drew that walk. That pitch misses. He goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's a very patient hitter, and obviously, you know, with his average being at 338, and he's got an excellent on-base percentage too of 453.
You know who else has a lot of patience? Your doctor. There's a bouncer to third base, the throw over in time to get the speedy Wesley Powell for out number 1. That'll go down as a 5-3. I just kept talking so you didn't have time to say much on that one.
Yeah, there's not much to say with those kind of jokes.
Number 24, Jose Gutierrez.
And
Joe, are you going to be appearing at Hyenas anytime soon?
Something like that. Jose Gutierrez is going to need to get an award at the baseball banquet this year. He has changed his walk-up song more times than anyone, and he always has a pair of walk-up songs we try to alternate between. First pitch is strike 1. There's a bouncing ball, goes back to the wall, so the count goes quickly to no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Jose has had, I think, the biggest variety of walk-up songs. My favorite still is Hey Baby, Que Paso by the Texas Tornadoes.
Well, it's important to have a good walk-up song, and so, you know, I can't blame him for taking that seriously.
Swing and a miss for strike 3.
That was looks like a similar pitch to the one he looked at in the 1st inning. This time he got him just he got him with the off-speed pitch, and That seems to be the way to try to go after Jose if you're gonna go after him.
Sean Kelly fouls his first pitch off the catcher's mask. I think the catcher's getting a little bit tired of some of those balls coming off his mask. Kelly got a single and scored back in the fourth inning. Struck out looking in the second. Pitch is outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sean Kelly. You know, and it's funny, Sean used to have 2 walk-up songs. The one he has now and then the Imperial March from the Star Wars. He came up to me in a game and said, I want to just drop that Imperial March. It's not working for me. Keep the other one. Okay, he hit a home run that night. So I think there is something sometimes to these walk-up songs. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes after that foul ball. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 5th inning. The Vikings lead 5-0. He reaches out to get a piece of that one to protect the plate and stay alive.
He was definitely protecting on that one because that was out of the strike zone.
But doing what you're supposed to do with that 2-strike count, get a piece of anything close to stay alive. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. He swings and misses for strike 3, retires the side in order, but the Vikings hang on to the 5-0 lead going into the 6th. We'll be back. Leading off in the top of the 6th inning, number 2, Parks Bauk. So Parks Bauk is going to lead off. He's the number 3 hitter, plays right field, right-handed batter.
So we've got the meat of the lineup, Bill. We'll see what Missile can do with this.
He hit a double but was stranded back in the 3rd inning. An exact double, mind you. And that pitch finds the strike zone and evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's another strike call.
Wesley Powell plays a very shallow center field. It's really interesting to see that.
I think that's part of his confidence of speed to be able to backtrack if he needs to. There's a high fly ball that's going to be caught by Jake Paff, and it is the 3rd baseman Paff. That'll go down as an F5 to retire number 2, in case you're trying to keep score at home. Number 14, Kyle Rich. Kyle Rich comes up to the plate. He lined out to the 3rd baseman, Paff, back in the 3rd to end that inning, and that was one where Paff didn't even have to make a step.
Right. It was a hard hit ball that Paff snared, but
the first pitch strike from Missile here to Mr. Rich, and he gets that call on the outside edge of the outside corner. The count quickly goes to no balls and 2 strikes.
Rich did not like that call at all.
Well, that was one of the, and there's a line drive, or kind of a line drive out to left center. It's going to roll to the fence, He's going to go around first, and he's going to be at second with an exact double. Again, that's his second double of the day.
Yeah, he got just about everything on. He got just about all of that ball.
Yeah, that was a nicely hit ball,
Yeah.
placed in the right spot in the gap in left center, and it rolled to the fence. So there's one out and one on. Now the batter, Marshall, goes to talk to his coach at third base.
And I think that what's got to happen here, Bill, is that Missel's got to just concentrate on the batter. He's not gonna. He shouldn't be worried about the runner at all. And in a 5-0 ball game in the 6th inning.
The pitch gets away from Fuller, but the runner caught flat-footed. I think he could have made it to third had he been alert.
Yeah, he was not even really. He just stood there. He didn't really even take any kind of secondary lead. I mean, when the pitch was thrown, and Fuller hustled back to get that ball. But I agree with you that I think he could have made it to third if he was paying attention.
That pitch misses the outside edge, so it's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. So that ball, now it doesn't go down as a pass ball because no one advances. But it did get away from Fuller. Fortunately, it doesn't go against him in any kind of catching stats. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Just misses, and now the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. And hopefully Missile can keep his kind of focus and composure here. Chance Fuller, the catcher, goes out to talk to him. Gutierrez comes in from first. Says, hey, hang in there, we got this.
We have to remember that Missile is a freshman, so
that's a good point, Joe. I mean, yeah. Last year he was playing probably North Arlington Little League or some select baseball somewhere. Yeah. Oh, and I love it when that happens. The batter thought it was ball 4, takes off for first, but gets called back.
Wait, come back. Oh, no.
So the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. There's a bouncing ball to Jake Paff at third. He picks it up. Here's the throw across the diamond. Just misses.
Yeah.
And that's not an error. That's a deeply hit. I believe that's an infield single.
That was a tough play because that ball was scooting right near the bag, and it was a very, very deep. Was deep in the kind of the hole over there, and Paff made a nice
Number 9.
try, but just could not get him.
So Joe Betancourt comes up to the plate. He got hit by a pitch back in the 4th, then had a courtesy runner who was picked off in a potential double play. Didn't turn into one. First pitch to him is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 pitch, in there for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike now. That pitch is going to sail just high enough for ball 2. Looked like it might have been coming in, but it kind of had some lift on it.
Yeah, it did, and we're going to have a consultation right now at the mound because what they're going to try to do, obviously, again, is settle him down because he just needs to. He just needs to get focus on the batter and get it out because what you don't want to do is just get into a situation where you're just walking people.
Right.
You just got to get the ball over the plate, let your defense do what it needs to do, and make plays behind you. Because if they hit the ball, the chances are you're gonna get out of this inning. If you start walking people, then that's where you get into trouble, and a big inning can occur.
Yep, walks and errors are what'll kill you in baseball. But fairly short conference, just as the umpire was going out to break it up. Everyone moves away. So the count now, 2 balls and 1 strike. The batter is number 9, Joe Betancourt. He's the catcher. He's their number 6 batter. That pitch misses, and the count goes to 3-1. 2 runners on with 1 out. Here's the 3-1 pitch. High fly ball that's going down the third base line. It's going to go just out of the reach of Jake Path, who went along the fence for the bullpen. And the count's going to go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. So, Joe, in a situation like this, what do you, is there more pressure on the batter with the full count or the pitcher, do you think?
No, in this particular situation, I think there's more pressure on the pitcher because he's been struggling a little bit. And
ground ball up the middle is picked up by Sean Kelly for the out number 1, and they got the double play. They didn't get out of it.
You know, and that's a really tough one, Bill, because I think that he could have just stepped on second and thrown it, but he didn't.
The Bang Bang double play in the inning is brought to you by Sean Kelly, Cameron Lyle, and Jose Gutierrez.
The Bang Bang double play does end the inning. It's still 5-0. We'll be back.
Leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Vikings, it's number 3, Eric DeBrill.
Well, Bill, we got out of that inning with the pitcher's best friend, the double play.
Yes, indeed. So Eric DeBrill, our right fielder, comes up to lead off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He shows bunt, pulls back, it's ball 1. DeBrill reached on an error and scored back in the big 4th inning where we got all 5 of our runs. Here's the next pitch, and that's low and inside, or low at least, for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to DeBrill. And I just happened, have they switched pitchers? I didn't even realize. No, it's still number 20, never mind, my bad. And the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Well, they're going to see if they can get a complete game out of this guy so they don't have to go into their bullpen, figuring on there's going to be probably a game 3 today. That pitch on the outside edge of the corner, so the count goes to 3-1. Again, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Vikings lead 5-0.
Yeah, there would be no sense in changing pitches at this point unless he completely falls apart.
Yeah. That foul ball goes into the home bullpen, and the count goes to 3-2, so full count for DeBrill. He steps out, kind of swinging around, loosening up. This would be a nice time to see him hit another home run. Here comes the payoff pitch, and it goes foul.
He was late on that swing. Thomas is still bringing it a little bit.
Here comes the payoff pitch again, and that's going to walk him.
Number 4, Kyle Lancaster.
Joe, I like that walk-up song. Start the show. I don't want to try to imitate it too much. All right, 1 on and no out for Kyle Lancaster. Pitches outside for ball 1. Eric DeBrill on base with a walk to lead off the 6th inning. for the Vikings.
Jabril's got a pretty decent lead.
And the pitch. Swung on a miss for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike now. It's kind of a fun family affair up here in the booth. I got 2 of my brothers-in-law up here, Joe Toronto, Mel Skaggs, and the daughter I never had, Lindsay Antkowiak, on the scoreboard for us. There's a foul ball that's going to go out of play over the visitors' dugout. On the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Lancaster. Who again pitched a great game last night in the 2-0 defeat, but playing left field today. And now we've got Bradley Missile pitching today, doing a great job. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High for ball 2. And family up in the crow's nest, David Frawley helping to run the camera, and one of his buddies, Cade Carlson, Yadi Paigon, also up there. My son Charlie Frawley on the varsity team. So a lot of family connections here today. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside, and that count goes full. So Kyle Lancaster working the count here. Battling to stay up here, see if he can get on base somehow with no outs and 1 on. Here comes the payoff pitch. It's swung on, and it's foul, straight back to the net.
Yeah, he was right on that pitch. He just missed it.
Yeah, just what if he had been a little bit higher on it, it would have gone out to center field possibly?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would have
just come
a
under.
nice line drive right out there.
Another pair. No, it's a throw to first in the dirt, but it's scooped up by the first baseman, Kyle Rich. So Eric DeBrill still at first base. And another payoff pitch coming to Kyle Lancaster. Outside, and that's ball 4.
Yeah,
and he'll be on.
They may make the move. And here they do. They're going to change pitches, Bill.
And thanks to Mel Skaggs letting us know he had another 13 pitches before he leaves the game. We'll be back after a few moments. Batting next for the Vikings, number 16, Bradley Missile.
Well, Bill, Bradley Missile has pitched a heck of a game today. You'd like to see him get a base hit here and just keep piling on the score, but he's been excellent on the mound.
Done a fabulous job, and fortunately he's had the offense behind him now. today to get it going. First baseman comes in anticipating the bunt. The bunt attempt goes up and over the catcher for strike one.
The bunt is a lost art. There are just so many kids and young men that just don't know how to actually get the bunt down. So I'm impressed when people actually do get it down.
Showing bunt again, but the pitch is high, so Missile pulls back, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike.
And it's an important part of the game. I mean, you want to move. I mean, you want to move those runners into scoring position.
You know, Joe, especially important on low-scoring offenses like Lamar traditionally is. You got to manufacture runs every so often.
Right.
He shows bunt. He drops that one right in front of the catcher, and for some reason, DeBrill doesn't run to third, and so the easy out is
I don't know whether he thought it was a foul ball or
I don't know, but you got to run.
you got to run. The minute the ball is hit, you just got to take off.
Courtesy runner first base, Justin Esgar. The next batter, number 13, Chance Fuller.
So Missile reached on a fielder's choice, and Esgar's going to run for him. And the first pitch in there for strike one to Chance Fuller. So no balls and 1 strike. There's 1 out. The 2 runners on at first and second for the Vikings in the bottom of the 6th. We lead 5-0. Sure would help to get a couple of extra runs here.
Yeah.
There's a ball that's hit high into right center field. Looks to be playable by the right fielder. It is, and he gets the ball in quickly, and no runners advance.
Yeah.
That was Parks Balk, the right fielder, made that play.
It was not hit deep enough for anybody to try to, move from second to third.
Aaron Lyle.
So Weil is our leadoff batter overall. He looks at the first pitch inside for ball 1. 2 runners on, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Maybe we can get something going with the top of the order here.
We'd like to get a little single here to push at least another run across.
Reaches out to get a piece of that one. It's going to go foul into the bullpen for the Vikings. Everybody ready to play. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And it's swung on almost to the same area. That might have hit a rooftop,
So we'll give RJ Construction, Residential and Commercial Roofing Pros, a shout out for sponsoring that.
Bouncing ball to the second baseman. Picks it up, throws in time for out number 3.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, no run scored, 2 left on. It's still Lamar 5, Keller 0.
Well, here we go with the top of the 7th, Bill, and with Missile having a chance to close this thing out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we can do. Oh, it's going to be a change of pitchers, actually.
Oh.
It's going to be Cameron Badillo, so we'll be back while Cameron Badillo warms up. Thank you, Lindsay, for spotting that for us.
Leading off in the top of the 7th inning, number 19, Reed Rice.
Well, Joe, here we go. If we can keep them to 4 runs or less in this inning, we've got game 3 coming up. Game 3 of this series. Of course, game 2 today. First pitch is inside. Got Cameron Badillo on the mound. He's come in relief a few times over the season here. There's a strike one, so 1 ball and 1 strike. He's also played some third base for us at times. He's a senior. Bouncing ball to shortstop Sean Kelly. Gets the throw over to Gutierrez, but it's going to be off his glove. Chance Fuller is over there to back up the throw. So no advancement beyond first, and that's going to be an E3, I believe.
Yeah. The ball was hit deep in the hole, but there was time to make the throw, and obviously the throw was off. But
or E5, actually, yeah, because the throw was off.
Number 21, Will Johnston.
Will Johnston comes up to the plate.
you don't worry too much about that runner at first. You just got to focus on the batter now.
I believe Johnston flew out to right field to end the 4th inning. They stranded 1 runner that inning. The Vikings lead 5-0. We're in the top of the 7th inning. We play 7 innings here in Texas in high school baseball. Just missed. That's in that same zone that's been getting some strike calls.
Yeah, I thought that definitely was going to get called a strike because of the prior history.
So 2 balls and no strikes now to Will Johnston, the number 8 hitter. We don't want the bottom of the order here loading up the bases for the top of the order coming back around here soon. Double play ball would be nice here. There's strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike.
He was taken all the way on that pitch.
Yeah, he didn't even look at like he might take a swing. Pitch is going to drop low for ball 3. The count goes now 3 balls and 1 strike. Not sure if the Paff family, who is on vacation in Mexico, is tuned in or not. They might be on the beach. But in case you are, hello to y'all. Your son playing a great game today. High fly ball going into left field. Lancaster brings it in.
And there's the first out.
It'll go down as an F7 against number 21. The next batter, number 24, Kevin Simpson. So, Joe, this is a substitute in the order. Now they're trying to see if they can spark something here. The number 9 batter was going to be, or the next batter, number 9 in the order, was going to be Pryor Thomas, but he'll be substituted by number 24, Kevin Simpson.
Simpson's a left-hander, and see if they're trying to get something out of him.
They do have the runner at first base, about a 3-step lead. Pitches, wow, on the, I think that crossed over the plate and curved out, because by the time it hit Fuller's glove, it was kind of inside, but I think it crossed over in the strike zone. But anyway, it's no balls and 1 strike. There's a ground ball to Sean Kelly.
Double play ball.
He turns, gets it out at second, throws it across, bang, bang, double play, end of the inning, end of the game. Vikings win 5-0. We'll have game 3. We'll be back in just a moment to cap off game 2 of the series in just a moment.
In fact, Joe, if you want to start doing some stuff, you can.
That's the end of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. With the final score, Lamar 5, Keller 0. We will have game 3 of this series in just about 30 minutes or so.
Well, that's going to do it for the first game today, game 2 of the series. A series of playoff here now tied at 1-1. And like you said, Joe, at one point, a great job of pitching by Bradley Missile, our starter. Cameron Video came in relief in the 7th and faced 4 batters. So 3 batters because he got the double play. So again, just spreading out some hits and a couple of walks here and there over 7 innings of pitching for us. We had that huge 4th inning with 5 hits and 2 errors.
Well, that's what I mean. That's where the key is that Missile pitched. I think it was a 5-hitter. I mean, up until he was pulled out for in the last inning. But the all of our offense essentially came in 1 inning. So that while it was a good pitching performance by Tyler Thomas for Keller, they had a meltdown inning where their defense just didn't help him out, and he gave up 5 hits. So you have that 1 inning, and that's where you kind of had that feeling all along. If you could get on the board and score some runs, that you had a pitcher in Missile who was kind of cruising along and doing his job, that if you got on the board, you were going to win the game. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. And so, when you've got good pitching and good defense like the Vikings had today, that's what carried the day. And unfortunately for Keller, they did not have that in 1 inning of this game, and that's what cost them the victory.
Sure enough, and our 5 runs were scored by Wesley Powell, Kyle Foster, Sean Kelly, Eric DeBrille, and, well, I've messed up my note here, and I'm sorry. It was, number 15, Justin Escar. So, with that, we're going to wrap up the broadcast of this game, and then we will begin here in about 20 to 30 minutes or so. Just keep checking back. If you want to check the next game, you'll at least see the video feed again, and then we'll come on just before the game with audio. So keep checking back with us. Our producer is Jay Ryan. He makes all this happen back in the home studio and does all kinds of other behind-the-scenes stuff. We really appreciate Jay's support of all of our broadcasts. And up in the Crow's Nest running the camera, we've had David Frawley, Yadi Pagan, Cade Carlson down here in the booth, Lindsay Antkowiak running the scoreboard, Mel Skaggs helping with some spotting and stats. I'm Bill Frawley.
I'm Joe Toronto.
And we'll say Viking fight never die, and we'll be back in just a little while for the final game of this playoff series.